So today we'll be looking at the asset management application that was built in Decisions. This process allows users to add or import assets and take actions on them using 4 unique flows. An asset is a member of a particular asset type, and each of these asset types can be customized to contain specific subtypes and, most importantly, asset flows. The first 3 of these all operate on changes to an asset. So you have the create flow, which gets kicked off when an asset of this type is created. You have update flow, which gets kicked off similarly when an asset of that type is changed or saved. Delete that gets kicked off when an asset is deleted. And then you have the different type that is your scheduled flow, which works on a scheduled job. All of these above first 3, which kick off from actions and events, so these first 3 all have the same interface that's already built in for you when you want to create or edit them. It already has all that information built in. So right now we're viewing it as an administrator, so if you hover over, you can actually open up directly from here. But each of these also have a preview where you can go and select and preview that particular flow. Also available to administrators is the ability to open the flow from here. If you were to select this, this takes you directly into that flow, so you don't have to navigate any folders to move forward and start editing it. And then looking at the last thing that we have on this right-hand side, this particular information, and that it updates with the selected asset, is the scheduled job. This is the actual job that will kick off that scheduled flow to run on that particular schedule. This is specified by the administrator in the configuration settings, and it runs starting at a particular date. So here, this is this vehicle status check that runs every 45 minutes, as you can see here in the schedule. If you select it here, you can also preview that flow, and it will provide you the name of the flow. So this is the scheduled flow that scheduled job is kicking off. Again, you can also open it from here if you are an administrator. So let's tab over to the second of our dashboards, which is the asset flow dashboard. So here we are on that asset management flows dashboard. This is only available to administrators to use. So from here you can see all the different types of flows, how many we have, and you also have particular actions that you can take on a given flow. So any of them you can edit, which directly opens up, navigates you to that flow. You can preview it, similar to how we've been doing before, brings up that image of what those steps look like inside the flow, as well as you can rename a flow and completely delete a flow. You get a confirmation here if you do want to delete that. From this dashboard, you can additionally create a flow. From here, you can pick which type, as we discussed those different types and what they do, and just provide it a name. So we're going to, for practice, create just a pop-up flow, and we'll have it be an update flow. So go ahead and create that. So when you create it, it navigates you directly into that new flow. It names it for you in the correct folder where it should be, and it provides you some context of the particular flow that you're working with. So in the Data Explorer over here to the left, you can see that we already have all the information for an asset gets built in to the start of the flow. So there's no need to do anything additional there. Just for this simple flow, we're just going to drag in a show pop-up step and then make a constant for our subject, and then just briefly do a merge so that we can pull in that information. So here we'll just grab that entity's name and just write a little bit about it. Has been updated. So now we can close and save. So now if we tab over one more time, we'll take a look at our configuration settings for the asset management application. So here on this first page, we're looking at the asset types. Like we said, those are the different groups or categories kind of that breaks up an asset. Like we were looking at vehicles earlier. We also have some other samples here. These can be anything that you create and that you define. Here you have those list of subtypes. To the left, you have some further instructions that can help guide you through using these tools over here to remove, edit, and add a new asset type. You also have these help icons. This one is providing you some definitions. So if you find yourself confused along the way, you can read up and just further check to make sure you understand by looking at these definitions for those particular components. You can also download that PDF. So here we're actually going to go ahead and add a type. So let's have this called medical here. And we'll put in some subtypes that I've got saved. Asset type owner is just the particular group that's going to be handling that. So we'll just drop it in for general managers. And here's the important section where we pick our flows. So let's pick our email template flows. You can also open it from there. And we'll drop in our pop-up flow that we were looking at and we made just recently together. And then that last big element that we're talking about, it's nice that you can create a custom job to schedule out at whatever time you need. So here's where you would actually configure that. You would just hit add to start making your new scheduled job. So we'll call it medical status check. And we'll pick our scheduled flow from this dropdown. If you need to create it, you can also create one from here. So we'll do another send status to owner. So this is emailing it to the asset owner. What's the status of that particular asset? Down below, you have your start date. So if we didn't want it to kick off until next week, we could specify that. For now, we'll just leave it at starting at the current time. And then you can pick schedule. If you pick hourly, it's going to kick off every hour starting from the initial date and time specified. Same with daily, weekly. Custom, you can put in the amount of days, hours, and minutes that you want it to repeat. So just to show, we can put in every 5 minutes this flow will run. Once you got everything specified, you can go ahead and create that scheduled job. So now we have that updated, our new scheduled job. Everything's mapped in for us. We can create this asset type. All right, and we have that updated list now of all the assets. The other tabs here, you can quickly create sample data. Lets you know just kind of what goes down with when you create sample data and how you can use it. Further information when you select that question mark. Our last tab is groups. Breaks down how the permissions are kind of laid out in this application. So it's really just the administrator group that has more access to things versus all the other users just have that main first dashboard that is behind us. The administrators have these configuration settings they can manipulate, as well as the flows dashboard. They can also open up those flows from that initial dashboard as well. Here, it lets you add and remove accounts from the administrator group right from the dashboard. All right, so let's just save our settings. And I'm going to tab us back over to our first dashboard here, and we can just briefly create an asset for that new type we made. So let's make it our pressure cuff equipment there. Just say new cuff. And we'll select our asset type. So we want it to be our medical gear that we picked, and then the asset subtype is that list that we provided when we set up our asset type. So do it as an electronic. Asset owner, this is the account that will receive those updates. We're just going to put it for my email. Location, spell that out. And that is everything you need. All of this can then later be edited as well. This is our initial create. So we have the notification that it's been updated. Also here you can edit the asset. Let's see if we can just go ahead and make a change here. Update our asset. And then we do get that pop-up that pressure cuff, which is that asset name, has been updated. That was our pop-up flow that had been triggered there. Let's tab over now to check the email. All right, so here we are looking at my inbox. I've got this sorted so that it's specifically all these assignments coming in. So we see we have that email that got kicked off, because that was that flow we selected for the create flow. That would send the email to the asset owner. All right, and that is all for what we have for asset management. Thank you so much for watching.